Romy.
It's Romy and Michele Day.
Have a Romy and Michele day.
Have a Romy and Michele Day.
Let's tell Scarves.
I'm literally so excited that I like don't even know what to do.
I'm such a combination of like excited and uncomfortable. You know?
Yes.
Drag is hard.
Yeah.
Tip your drag queens, everyone.
Right?
Drag is very hard.
For real.
And this like, yeah.
So we are launching our brand new Romy and Michele collection today. So obviously we're going to do that for the Campfire, and we also are dressed up.
We obviously must be dressed up.
Romy and Michele.
It was hard because like, which one was going to be Romy? Which one was going to be Michele?
I feel like of course I'm Romy.
Yeah, you're the brains.
Behind
the whole operation.
I'm like the one that's like, I'm really nervous about everything. And Michelle's like, I'm fine.
No, you know what it is? We'll get into this.
Yeah.
She's better at masking.
You know? I can't wait to talk about this movie,
I
which
know.
is one of our tops.
Top 3 maybe even.
It's in the top 5
for
sure
sure
for me.
It has a lot of elements that really put it right up there for me.
Yeah.
It really checks all the boxes.
I see the soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
The costumes.
Girls. My first note is this movie has my 3 favorite things: girls, music, and fashion.
Yes. What more could you like? And a true love story.
Jocelyn, I get choked up thinking about it.
They're a true love story.
I don't think I've ever, at this point in my life, identified with film creatures more than these 2 ladies.
Film creatures, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I get them.
Yeah.
I understand everything that they're doing.
Oh, yeah. There's only one thing missing, and I don't think it will never happen.
Ask me again when I'm 30. But before we delve into the film that inspired this beautiful collection sitting before us, we have to talk about the Romy and Michele collection.
Obvi.
There's another piece from it that I'm not going to show right away, but when we talk about it, I'm going to show
she'll come out.
So obviously it's a duo, and it's Romy French Vanilla Fantasy, and we designed the label so that they kind of looked like the dresses with that like metallic,
Yeah.
gorgeousness. So
The iconic blue and pink of Romy and Michele
And then
that they still
Michele-
brought back today.
Exactly. And then Michele is Cherry Blossom Dream. And these, I'm going to tell you what's in these.
Oh, man.
These might be the most nostalgic candles that we do. It's almost like a Keanu Reeves impression that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which is maybe not right.
Wow. Yeah.
Is it?
I keep getting Mira Sorvino and Mina Suvari. I know. I'm like having a malfunction.
Yeah.
Mira Sorvino.
Yeah.
And I forgot what I was going to say about it.
She
is the female Keanu Reeves talk.
Kind of.
You're right.
It's kind of like that.
Dumb surfer.
I don't know if I'm doing it that well, but let's talk about the fragrances.
Yeah, duh.
So the concept of like the fantasy, the dream, obviously harkens to like there's a very famous dream sequence, and they kind of live like dreamy lives where like they are very imaginative, and like everything that they do, they really do exactly what they want.
Yeah, they're living the fantasy.
They're kind of living the fantasy.
Yeah, their fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyone's, because they're truly like soulmates. So Romy French Vanilla Fantasy has scent notes of peach, gardenia, vanilla orchid, mission fig, maple sugar, coconut, French vanilla, sandalwood, and musk.
That's actually my diet right now.
So that's... How do you have that discipline? This is like the most complex, gorgeous, figgy, brown sugar vanilla.
Pass that one.
It's basically the concept behind it is like, again, extremely nostalgic, like 90s, late 90s kind of sense. So this is going to like your brown sugar vanilla body sprays and lotions and potions.
Obsessed.
But absolutely given the luxe bijou treatment.
Oh, I love it.
It's nostalgic, and then also like it grew up with you.
Yeah.
Like it's like
if a 90s Victoria's Secret were like in Paris.
Yes.
Today.
Yes. And that's really good. And it's like really it's feminine, like in a way that it's like girly and playful.
Because it's kind of sweet.
Right, but there's also a muskiness to it.
Yeah.
that
But
I
Romy's
feel
a little
like
bit, she's styled
she's a
more
little-
masculinely.
She's a little bit. I can't believe how cute I look right now, Michelle.
You're the Rhoda.
I'm the Mary. Yeah, so I really am, I think this is going to be a huge fan favorite. If you guys liked our Greta bourbon and vanilla candle,
Yep.
she definitely is like in the same
Sisters.
family. She's probably like the fancy aunt that like moved to Paris and like
I love that.
that's like it's so
Or
gorgeous.
is she the rebellious Gen X and Greta is her grandmother?
Oh, nice. I love that. That works for me. Okay, so if you'd like to hold up Michelle.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So Michelle is Cherry Blossom Dream. I'm gonna read the scent notes.
I just want to give it a kiss.
I know. Orange. It's orange, peach, red apple, cherry blossom, lilac, musk, and blonde woods.
Blonde. You look so good with blonde hair and dark roots.
It's like not even funny.
It's not even funny.
So this one I'm so freaking excited about. And one of the people that work for our candle pourers, our family, and the girl, I think she's close to our age that works there, not a girl, she's a woman. She messaged and she was like, "Oh my God, Michelle, it's giving me love spell."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's
no
giving.
other words need to be spoken.
And I was like, you got it. Like, this is
Nailed
our
it.
take on love spell.
Yeah.
With,
God,
the Bijou Zazazu.
that's like the number one thing that comes to my head when you talk about like
nostalgic
90s.
sprays.
Yeah.
So
Is love spell.
really cannot wait for you guys to smell these. I think that they embody these characters perfectly.
They really do.
They smell insane together because
Yeah.
if you'll remember when I described the scent notes for Romy, there's peach at the top. And peach is one of the main notes in the Michelle. And it just creates this like beautiful,
Like their clothes.
lightly sweet but musky, fruity, and like that stone fruit that's just like kind of sexy. They're fucking cool.
It's like how their outfits go together.
Yep.
It's like very deliberate.
Yeah,
how
but
they're
also like they
styled.
have their very own.
It's distinct, but they go together.
Which is like definitely speaking to our favorite costume designer. And I don't know if you want to talk about this a little bit later on when we talk about their outfits, but it's by Mona May, who is one of our biggest inspirations.
If not the biggest.
For almost anything.
Yeah. In my life.
She's done Clueless. She did this movie.
Jawbreakers. Never Been Kissed. And one that really, like when I saw this, I almost started sobbing. She did Three Ninjas.
I know, which is one of your like
it's like my siren song.
Yes. She's perhaps like maybe singularly responsible for the look.
Yeah.
Of
Did we
the
say
90s.
Clueless?
Clueless,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, Clueless.
Like singularly, like her take on what the 90s looked like is how we now as a world imagine the 90s.
Yeah.
Because like not everyone was wearing these like Moschino, Versace, like but put together so
she's
cool.
a genius. Like
and
we'll
a lot
talk
of it
about
was
it,
custom and made
Yeah.
for. So like no, that wasn't like what was happening on like your average
No, that was like
day-to-day.
new to like incorporate designer clothes. Oh my God, you look like Carmen Electra.
Oh my God.
I just like
what an
saw it
amazing
and I was like, oh
thing
my
to
God.
say to me.
That's exactly who you look like. Wow.
My whole body's on fire
Like
right
90
now
that makes me.
Vanity Six?
I was gonna
Prince?
say the Ink Master himself.
Oh yeah. But they're
Yeah, but they were perfect for each other.
remember that what was the name of that show? When Carmen Electra and Dave Navarro got engaged.
Was it Carmen and Dave
Like yes.
get fucked or something?
It was like Carmen get some love.
Yeah.
But I remember them picking the song for their wedding and it's Sade.
Which one?
Think I leave your side, baby.
That's so funny.
And I like remember being like, that's a great song.
It's a great choice.
It all comes
Do they have
full
great
circle.
taste? I mean, Dave Navarro like kind of is hot.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my God, absolutely.
Has he done anything bad? Probably. I don't know.
I don't know, Ink Master.
I just know I wanted. Yeah.
We watch Ink Master.
I know, right? That's filled with people that have done.
I know,
bad
and you're
ones.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Anyway, back to Romy and Michelle.
Yes.
We were talking about the Mona May impact.
Yes, which again, like, she's just, if you look up her body of work, she has given us a lens of like her version of the 90s, her dream.
She's a genius.
She's a genius.
Absolutely genius.
And so this whole collection is just like an homage to that vibe and
My
the
whole life
quirkiness.
is, honestly.
There's so many Easter eggs. I hope for you guys to like look through and see like all like little fun things that we added in.
Yeah.
We also did a lighter that is hot pink and says businesswoman special on it, which I am personally extreme. It's like my favorite part of the movie.
It's so funny.
Excuse me. Do you have some sort of businesswoman special? Like, I'm sorry, what?
Wait, what did she say? Like, we don't have
She's
anything
like, we don't have
that.
anything like that here.
What kind of business do you in?
And they're both just like. And then I feel like you captured the sunglasses. It's a perfect shape.
Thanks.
It's the exact shape. They have some of the best sunglasses in this show.
Again, I could talk about each individual outfit of this movie.
Oh, maybe I will.
It could be just
maybe
that.
I'll have to go break down each outfit because it's
per
worth
episode.
It. Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. There's different colored shoes happening. It's like, oh my god.
There's so much detail.
Yeah.
When you're like watching this movie, which we have done forensically for the last like, half of a year or more.
Yeah. I've watched it without sound like 8 times.
Just so you could like
just so I could look at it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's so stimulating.
Yeah.
That like you're watching it for what are they saying? What are they doing? What are they looking like?
Yeah.
What's
the music?
What's the music? What's the background? Because like, all these things come into like how we design everything.
And like everything that they say in this movie is a one-liner.
Everything.
Like it's the whole thing is quotable.
Like when I was like starting to take notes just to have something to refer to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like when I just like go to talk under pressure, I get like pathological demand avoidance, and I'm literally just like, what?
Wow. That sounds like Michelle.
So it's like epoxy.
Yeah. And she's like, I love Lisa Kudrow so much. Oh my god.
She's one of the tops for me.
I fucking love that bitch.
And
she's a Vasta girl.
If you've never seen The Comeback, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
We sobbed. You sob in a show that you think is just like pure comedy.
Right.
But it's like, it really gets you.
It's touching. Sorry, guys.
You look
Can we get 2 Diet Cokes?
You look
with extra cherries. I look so like what?
90s.
Well, thank you. That's what I did. Can we talk about just quickly? This is going to be a long podcast, I think, because I have a lot of stuff to talk about.
I'm taking my time.
When I was making these wigs, so like my thing is that I will buy not super expensive lace fronts or some, as close as I can find on Amazon, and then cut them and style them to my specifications.
Yes, please. You're a hairdresser also.
Yes.
Trained.
Yes, but not in wigs.
Licensed.
Wigs is like a whole speciality.
Sure. Yeah, like working with a mannequin head is very different.
It's a whole thing, and it's very, very hard. People who like make wigs for a living, it's
god, Wigs by Vanity?
Wow.
Jesus.
I just have a lot of respect because these synthetic wigs, they don't want to move, they don't want to cut,
no,
they don't want to it's all just like a bunch of like synthetic tracks just like sewn onto a cap.
But like a reveal has like a whole new meaning to me now.
Oh,
not that this is my first wig I've worn.
No,
but
it absolutely is not.
No,
we have like a entire drawer in our guest room that's filled with wigs. And
when I met you, my wig wearing went up exponentially.
Went 500% increase in wig.
Big returns on that one.
The transformation of a wig. Wigs are the candles of hair.
I think that's one of the 10 commandments. They like recently translated
in that they are very transformed.
She wasn't finished. Long pause. So they're transformative.
Yeah, it takes you there.
Like, well, wait, what did you say it was?
Wigs are the candles of hair things. Hair
things.
Stuff. Sometimes it's quoted as with things in it.
It depends on which the King George version.
Which version exactly? Which translation? Yeah. So, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
it's like it's like once you get the wig on, you're like, and now I am.
It makes it solidifies the fantasy.
Yes,
the French vanilla fantasy.
Oh my god, so many Easter eggs.
I know, right?
So many references. So much fun for us. Yeah. So we have to show the rest of the collection.
Yes.
Would you mind showing us the matchbook? This is the matchbook that they ordered for their store. Romy and Michele have a Romy and Michele day. So if you go, and I think they honestly ordered it for Heather Because she's kind of like
That's what I was
their
thinking.
only friend.
Both of these things are for Heather.
Yeah,
'Cause-
she's kind of like their only friend in the area. And when they were thinking of what they should do for swag, they were like, well, Heather smokes. So they did like a lot of that.
To go with the lady finds cigarettes.
Right, exactly.
And,
for the gal on the go.
It's very cute.
Yes. So
and
then the inside,
there's
it's
16-pound platforms
shoes.
in the
Yes.
inside.
So it's all fun stuff.
I love it.
A lot of fun. These are great like best friend candles, like besties, like you can buy a set together and see who gets who.
Sure.
Or get both.
BFFs.
These are like
I think
BFF candles.
each one should have both.
Right?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's obvious.
And then you could be the Heather.
You could also both gift them to each other, and it's like you killed two birds with one stone because you like basically bought candles for yourself, but you gifted.
Is it awkward to give your friend who is the Mary the Rhoda candle?
You know what? We've never determined who is the Mary and who is the Rhoda. Really?
Between us?
Oh, between us?
Or between them?
Between them.
I think we know.
Yeah, it's Michelle's the Mary.
Michelle's the Mary.
It's okay.
I love them both.
Me too. You're cuter in some cultures, maybe cuter. Right?
I had a question, like, when Romy is like offering herself to Ramon.
Oh yeah.
Like, is she hot?
Okay.
Should we get to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think yes.
Like in the world.
Well, because like I know exactly what you're talking about. Because you're like, the way that they paint themselves is like they're such dweebuses in a way. But like when you step outside of their view of themselves, you're like, wait, these are like two hot girls.
Right?
Like they're literally just like walking around. They're like so cute.
Like when they're at the club.
Right.
And they're like, there's no hot guys here. And like, there's so many guys
hot
there.
Guys.
And, but like no one talks to them. Like, why? They're like the prettiest girls there.
Because they are with each other.
Okay. So I guess we should just.
Let's jump in.
Let's just jump in. Watching, can I just preface this by saying, I want to like lay out a disclaimer. This movie was very different to watch now that I have been diagnosed with autistic traits.
Yes.
Just saying.
Because then you were like, oh, both of these girls are neurodivergent.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like me.
Right.
Dumb like me.
Yes. I think a lot of us see ourselves in Romy and Michelle for reasons that we didn't quite understand at the time. I don't even know if they understand when they were writing
that's
it.
that's like the thing.
They're like, like those weird girls?
Yes.
And it's like, yeah. Neurodivergent
like
girls.
we're exactly like them.
Yes.
Like we open up on them watching Pretty Woman.
Right. For the 36th time.
Right. And I just love it when they let her shop.
I mean, it's just so
like
it's just so
they
real.
talk shit just like us.
I also saw something online that like somebody forensically watched it and figured out that there actually is a separate bedroom, but they choose to sleep in the same bedroom.
I'm sure there's like some room where she like makes stuff.
Exactly. It's a 2-bedroom.
Like just push the beds together.
That's just how they like it.
The time will come. It will. They're gonna get desperate enough, and they didn't shut it down.
Desperate,
right? They didn't shut it down.
They
didn't shut it down when they like talked about it in the club.
I mean,
it was like an option.
Regardless of there's. To be honest with you, I didn't think that they were actually very sexual people.
No,
it was so funny because in like the fantasies, it's like getting a boyfriend or like this. They get married or they make out or whatever. Who lost their virginity first? Like all this stuff.
Yeah.
To your cousin Barry, big whoop. I wouldn't brag about that. But like I don't get the impression that they're going out and hooking up with anybody. I feel think that they're perfectly fulfilled in their relationship with each other. Yes.
Like they're like really heavily influenced by like society and like media.
Right.
So, in so many ways. Like you see, and it's mostly for fashion. Like they love fashion, so they end up looking at all this, like they consume all this media because of fashion.
Like Pretty Woman.
Yeah, and it's all like it's infiltrated their mind that they like have to have a boyfriend and like
have to have
this job and
a
blah blah blah. And that happened to everybody. Like we all suffered through
so
that.
90s. Was this 97?
97.
Which was the peak.
So
the peak.
I think it was the perfect year.
It was. There's so much.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's all just like influence.
Yeah.
And like what they think they have to do. It's not like authentic to them.
I completely agree. Because like that we find out at the end of the movie, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point of this is like authenticity and like realizing you actually do have it
Realizing things.
perfect.
Right.
So like we zoom in first thing in the movie, and I love the opening title sequence because it's all different, and apparently it's all fabric of something they wear at some point in the movie.
And it's letting you know that this is a fashion movie.
It's giving fashion movie.
I read that this movie is fashion first. It's like a fashion movie in the disguise of like a friend, a girlfriend movie.
A buddy comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's the main purpose of it is fashion.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous.
It serves.
I love it.
Even like every shot though, not just like the clothes, like the whole like vignette, all like the scenes are like so beautifully shot. Like even this one shot you're talking about with like the turquoise exterior, like fire escape on Venice Beach.
They live on the beach.
How much is that apartment?
I don't know. It was 1997, and only one of them works as a Jaguar counter girl.
Yeah, which like
so how is that
things
working
were different
out?
back then.
Maybe they have some kind of
it was probably
setup.
like $70 a month.
Yeah.
And she had benefits and was in a union or something.
Yeah. We're like, how is this possible?
Right.
It's not. The thing about this movie is that it's just not.
It's not.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, wait. Can I also say something, too? That they are the same age as my older sister.
Oh, like exactly.
Yeah, she's class of 87.
So Gen X.
So, like, I had this, like, age of person around me all the time.
Yes.
So my sister was, like, super cool. She worked at the Gap.
The Gap in the 90s was, like...
Like, how cool is that?
Cool as hell.
And she had, like, a really cool haircut.
Yeah, she did.
She was, like, funky as hell.
Yeah, it was, like, shorter on one side and, like, longer on the other side.
She was cool.
Yeah, it's very rad.
So she was, like, into fashion stuff. So
it was rad.
I feel like I know them. Anyway.
I love that. So you, like, know exactly, like, the time frame of reference and, like...
what these people be like.
It's so fun because they're playing, like, music from, like, the 90s, and then also in flashback sequence in high school, we're getting 80s music,
I know,
which is
so
just
good.
such a
And on the road
culture
trip,
delight.
too.
The road trip.
It's delightful. And I feel like each song is, like, specifically chosen for, like, the tone of the scene.
Yes.
As well.
It's
even in the background.
It's one of those soundtracks that gets played a lot. Like, I played that a lot. It was a great choice.
It's so good. So then we get to, so they're in, like, bed watching pretty, oh, God, these two in bed together. In separate beds. I live for it. And then they have a cat that we never learn about.
The cat is there. We never talk about the cat.
No, it's just there.
Mm-hmm.
It's our Molly.
Sometimes there's cats. I know.
It's us, Jocelyn.
I know. It's very, yep.
I love it.
I know. Watching it, you're just like, yep.
It's amazing to me.
Like, literally going out to the club and it's like 2 Diet Cokes with extra cherries.
I mean,
it's like we literally only
and we do a
Diet Cokes.
choreographed dance and then leave.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
How did we never see this before?
I know. I think it's because we like peaked. We like reached our ascension, which is Romy and Michele.
Yeah.
Like, in this moment.
Yeah.
On tape right now.
Right now. Yep. I feel it. It's making me thirsty.
I couldn't find my top out of my head.
She's so funny. And yeah. She's so funny.
She is so funny.
Her performance is perfect.
Lisa Kudrow
should have won an Oscar for this movie.
I agree.
Supposed to get everyone.
She should be EGOT.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. They're watching Pretty Woman, and Michelle gets emotional when she is like, I just like love it when they let her shop.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And so then they start getting ready to go out.
The song that plays.
What do they play?
It's just like some song. It's like not even like that recognizable.
It's just like 90s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, they have nothing to wear.
They have the coolest clothes.
Oh my God.
And then Michelle's like, we don't even have time to make anything. I'm like, make something.
What?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Have a Romy and Michele day, why don't you?
Oh my God.
So they get ready and they look so cute.
Yeah.
And Romy has that like leopard bustier with the jacket and then the leopard purse.
And then Michelle has like the blue jet coat with like the marabou.
The marabou feathers.
It looks amazing. Like I said before, they're distinct, but they go together.
Right.
They have their own identities.
They're from the same collection. Yeah. It's like how when the Spice Girls, when their costumes were on point together, it looked like it went.
Perfect. I don't know how they did it.
Whoever did that did a good job.
Was it Mona May? Can you imagine?
It's giving that. Oh my God, the Spice Girls. You know?
They are like God level.
God.
Yeah.
God. I love
no, we
them.
we literally we're this. Like we will sit on the couch and watch Spice Girls music videos and like cry in each other's arms.
Yeah. So we're doing good.
Like we love the Spice Girls.
I love the
I get
Spice
emotional
Girls.
over Mel C. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because she carries a lot with that vocal.
She gives it her whole ass.
She does.
Every time.
She brings 100%.
And she's like a fucking chav.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
With her gold tooth.
It's iconic.
It's the cool. I want one.
I know, me too.
She makes me want a gold tooth and
she makes me want, like,
tattoo.
an armband tattoo as well, yes.
Hycia, hold tight. Anyways, I digress.
She's also a Capricorn.
I just get really... Didn't the Spice Girls come out around this time?
Yeah, I think it was like 96.
I want
to like wannabe.
At this point, I'm like, how old?
13. 12.
12.
I know.
12.
Ouch.
No wonder I'm sick sitting here being like, the Spice Girl.
I know.
Was like, it coded me.
It's like when you when Neo wakes up in the egg in like the jizz bath and he's like, that was like all the Spice Girls.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You made that sound really nice.
That's just like, you know, what my head did.
So they go to the Diet Coke and they get Diet Cokes.
It's like, beep my
Did I say
lover.
Diet
They
Cokes?
go to the Diet Coke and they get Diet Cokes.
I swear to God, like I'm bimboing out.
Is it the wig?
It's the wig.
Yeah.
I also feel like we look like Sugar and Spice.
Where'd my dingaling go? The trot. I love Sugar and Spice.
Like you maybe more than me, but like yeah.
What?
Just don't tell me I look like Lucy LaDuca. Okay?
No. Let loose. So what are we talking
They
about?
drink Diet
okay.
Cokes, and Michelle says the funniest thing. She's like, I keep tasting those taquitos in my mouth. And she goes, I hope I don't get indigestion.
I mean,
and she means it.
yeah, she does.
It's just so funny.
Like, they don't talk like normal people.
No.
They say whatever is on their mind.
Yep.
They walk out of conversations without announcing anything.
Yep.
Like, they are keen on trains.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Just like me.
Exactly. That's right. They all of a sudden decide to go dance, and they have a full choreography. They're like, get out of our way.
Yeah.
And they do a Staying Alive choreography.
It's
like, and they do it. And
it's
they're
good.
And the thing is that they're absolutely
Stone-faced.
they're like
they go into like machine mode. They're like in sleep mode doing it.
It was like, and now I first I get my Diet Coke, then I do my dance. There's no guys here. There's literally guys everywhere. That's so funny to me.
It's so funny.
And then they go home. They don't drink.
Because it's not what they want to be doing.
No. They're just like going to the club.
Yeah.
To show their outfit off.
To say that they went to the club.
The outfit went out, and now it can go home. I know what that's like. Sometimes an outfit needs to go out.
And then
I don't have to go out.
And then you like throw it away when you
Let
get
me
home.
explain something to you.
Yeah.
There are outfits that I have that beckon me.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I need to go out. And I'm like, fuck.
They're like, are we going out tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight?
And I'm like, great. So then I end up wearing like a gown to get pizza.
Yeah. And
Which is something I'll do.
Your other girls are like, I've never been outside before. I just came in an envelope and they put me right in here. I've never been out again.
Yes. And that's a 2020 thing. That's like a pandemic thing. Pandemic outfits.
So much
Never
sweatpants.
got to wear
so much
it.
athleisure.
But so there were things that were bought that we didn't get to wear.
Yeah.
And those clothes are like, please.
It's mostly
I want to see the sun before I die.
Do you know what I can't stop buying and not wearing because of like the weather? Is like a lightweight jacket.
Yes? Oh, okay.
That's also mess. Do people move to LA for like so they can wear clothes?
I'm sorry, what was that? Do people
move to LA so they can wear clothes?
What?
Because the climate.
You mean like warmer clothes? Oh, like they can go outside more.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because like here, I have to wear like sweaters and then like jackets.
Based on the fashion on Vanderpump Rules, for example,
fashion, by the way,
no one's going there to wear clothes. No offense.
The fashion.
Is
what we're calling it.
No offense.
So then we're at the Jaguar dealership. This is where
Romy
Romy
works.
works. And she's like, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah.
Ramon, stop fucking around.
Right. And she's wearing like a sick yellow top
Sick
and like
outfit.
different color nails.
Yes.
Ugh.
Every detail.
So like, I wonder who's doing their hair and makeup. Because like,
they are.
Each to themselves.
I think they do each other's.
I think they do too.
Because those French twists are hard to do on
Or do you
yourself.
think Michelle is just good at it?
It could
and
be
it's
Michelle.
her?
I think Romy maybe does the makeup and Michelle does the hair. I just made that up. Maybe they do.
In our relationship, Jocelyn does all of it.
Yes. But you look great.
I'll be like, how about this wig? She's like, stop it. Let me look. I'm gonna find it, okay? And there's like 45 wigs in the Amazon
I have to do
cart.
the math.
Yeah.
I put all the wigs that it could be, and then I look at them and I'm like,
Yeah.
beautiful mind.
She's like Minority Report. Yes.
And I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's just the way.
No, it's like,
it's just the way that my brain does it. Do I still have my
yeah.
something got?
No, you're good.
Something
Don't
about
touch
Mary.
it. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's pretty darn close to perfect, I gotta say.
I tried my best, you guys.
You did fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, so she works at the Jaguar dealership, and the next person in line is like, I'm in a rush.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it's Heather Mooney from Sagebrush High in Tucson,
Arizona.
played
Class
by
of 87.
the beloved. What's her name?
Ginny Garoppolo.
There's something wrong with me.
Didn't she die?
She's like one of my favorites of all time.
I know.
She absolutely didn't, guys. That was a joke.
It's from the movie.
It's from the movie. Yeah, I love Jeanine Garofalo. I love her in everything. Wet Hot
so
American
funny.
Summer. She has this like small little cameo part in the movie Bye Bye Love, where she goes out on a date with one of the divorced dads, and she has this like sequence of ordering from a menu, and she's like, it's like a blind date.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, singles with kids or whatever. And she's like, do I want a meatball sandwich? I don't want a meatball sandwich. Should I get that one? And she like goes through the whole menu.
Yeah.
And he's like losing his mind the whole time. And I'll play it for you. It's literally so funny. For some reason, I've seen that movie 800 times.
Wait, which one's Bye Bye Love again?
Like Eliza Dushku is in it when she's really young. Like a bunch of people are in it. A bunch of guys.
Like the 80s?
The 90s, the early 90s.
Is it like a rom-com?
Yes. There's a bunch of people. Like Paul Reiser, I think, is in it.
Oh God. Okay.
Is that right? That's for another time. But I just love Jeanine Garofalo, even though I forgot.
I'm obsessed with her.
She is like the quintessential Gen X.
Oh
to
yeah.
me.
Absolutely. Her attitude, everything. She's like light goth, which is kind of like what I associate with Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like
light goth.
like
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, like the caked on eyeshadow that she's never washed off. She just like adds to it.
It's perfectly smoky.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she constantly smoking.
Yeah.
How does she act in a way that makes it feel so real?
She's so funny.
Like she's such a character.
She's very you really relate to her.
Yeah.
Because she's just like points out the absurdity of everything. Because she's literally just like like the whole time.
That was like kind of like the me in high school.
Yeah. I get it.
It was like me and a few other Heather Moonies hung out with each other.
Like, you know, when there's something about you that others you at a young age, whether it be, you know, many different reasons.
Right.
When you're like not falling into the ideal, you know, 2-family household, white picket fence bullshit.
Yeah.
I think once they're outside a little bit, they're like, what's going on here?
Like the illusion starts to fade.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
And like that can happen.
Like societal ideals.
Yeah, and that's like where you get like that Heather Mooniness of just like, oh, well, I'm not like, you know, the typical thing or something. My life is different for some reason.
Yeah.
Or like Romy and Michele just kind of like double down on it in a way. Like to fit in.
Yeah.
And then, like, once they stop trying to fit in, like, we see them in their lives after high school, they thrive.
Yeah, but, like, when they're ham-handedly trying to fit into something that, it's like, you know, shoving a square into a circle. Like, it's just never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious that, like, it isn't.
Right.
And it shouldn't.
Right.
Like, it's just oil and water.
Yes.
And,
totally.
Once they realize that they're just delicious, delicious Fiji water. That should exist on its own.
I love Fiji water.
I know you do.
It's a good one.
I know you do.
I love water. So Heather basically is like, yeah, I have a Jaguar. I'm rich. I invented quick burning paper for Lady Fair cigarettes. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
So she invented a quick burning paper, and then she also lets Romy know, you know, there's the 10-year high school reunion coming up. And Romy's like,
it's twice the taste and half the time for the lady on the go.
The gal on the go.
The gal on the go.
Yes. Twice the taste, half the time. And they show a shot of her like sucking the cigarette down, and I'm just like.
And then we'll see later in a flashback when she got the idea. Where she got the idea.
So Romy literally like doesn't even like help the next person in line. She's like 1 second.
Yeah.
And there's like a line of people at the door, and she has to call Michele.
You're like, you won't believe who I just ran into.
Right. And so then we get like the most perfect way of them showing us the back scenes is them like back scenes, the
Looking-
back in
yeah.
time. They go and they look through the yearbook
It's so funny.
and they're super cool
And they
bedroom.
took their yearbook picture together.
Yes.
And
They're
it
in
made
the
me
same picture.
I never realized watching this before that their names are White and Weinberger, so they're like, it made me think of like how all your friends are just like the same last
Well,
name.
you have like like your best friends from high school almost all have the same name that started with your
Yes.
same name. M's.
Because we sat together.
That is
We're in the same
so
homeroom.
funny.
And same with you. All
Yeah,
your
one of
friends are
my-
like D or E.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My really
Or
good friend
G.
from high school, Paul, E. D-E. That's how it happens.
Right?
You're literally just like,
Even G. Throw some G's in there.
you know what I do? I do
know.
have some G's.
I know you do.
You're absolutely right. We're just, the alphabet.
I only have M's. All my only friends were M's.
I only
And then
have M's.
We had one C because he was gay.
And you know what? Birds of a feather.
Yep.
And there you
They
go.
flocked together.
I know, right? It's awful. This dress.
Like my whole butt is on this chair.
It's so short.
It doesn't even. It's not even doing anything for me.
Yeah.
So
but
there.
it's cute.
So Danny Weller, petitioned to get them to take separate photos because he
Right.
was meant to be in between them.
Right. And they tell some story about them like teasing him.
Yeah,
and
inviting
then
him over and turning the sprinklers on.
And then Michelle's like, didn't he die?
Yeah.
I can't.
They're so funny.
Yeah, so
And then we see like Sandy Frank and
Frank, who we find out that Heather Mooney maybe had a crush on, but
Yeah.
he liked
there's a
Michelle.
difference
We were very much in love.
Yeah.
I was very much in love
Yeah.
with him. She was very much in love with him.
with this like 50-year-old
Cumming.
Scottish guy with
Yeah.
like the teeth of a miner. Like
You mean like a miner.
like a mine,
In a mine.
in a
Got it.
mine.
I understand. So they kind of like go back in time to 1980s, whatever.
87.
And they should talk about the A group, which has Chrissy Masters in it,
Mhm.
and her boyfriend Billy Christensen. And she was in love with Billy Christensen, who is like played by the most hilarious guy.
Isn't he?
He's such a goof.
He's so goofy.
He's like,
Well, he's in other stuff too, isn't he?
he is, but like I can't.
I
I've been
know.
trying to place it, and I just,
He has like the exact torso of a high school guy, I guess.
no,
Right?
absolutely not. Which is what I love about it. And then they show that they were basically loners. And Michelle had a back brace back then, and Romy was kind of fat.
Like that's ridiculous.
I know, but that's like classic 90s fucking bullshit.
They literally like put her in a blazer and
Yeah.
called her fat.
Yeah, like she is fat. So they're kind of like, what group were we in? And they're like, we're loners.
Yeah, but like they were like the fashion loners. Like
Yes.
they talk about like Christy and her group talk about their outfits like
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, and then Lisa's like, oh, they make them in home ec out of their own patterns, and she was like, I think they're kind of like not bad,
Yeah.
and
Chrissy's
they're
like,
great.
shut up.
because they're great.
Yeah.
They like dress like Madonna,
Right. They dress really cool.
Yeah.
They literally dress up as Madonna at their prom.
and like all the other girls are wearing like pastel bullshit.
Right. Exactly. Like they look like the cool thing, like the pop thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Billy and Christy are dating, and
Mhm.
Christy is a bully. She bullies them.
yeah,
She puts magnets on Michelle's back brace
Yeah.
and steals Romy's burger, which I was just like, okay,
yeah. That
bitch.
was like so out of character to
like
me.
you need a burger.
Like what? That's like so not something.
A girl would do.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna come steal your burger?
Okay. It's like pretty shitty looking,
Yeah, what?
but
From the cafeteria?
yeah. Okay, take it. The back brace thing
Yeah.
is I feel like they should have. My one thing is like I feel like they should have called that back in like an outfit in the future. Like she
Interesting.
took inspiration from it.
Oh, and she had like a thing on?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure she's too she wants to leave it in the past. It's not
Yeah.
her fault she had scoliosis.
I don't feel like she cared. I feel like Michelle or Romy really riled Michelle up.
Yeah, Michelle like is cool with whatever.
That's like kind of what my vibe was in high school. I was like, I'm the cool one.
I love
Y'all
that.
don't even know.
That's great.
Same with my friends too.
That's
We
very
were like
cool.
the cool ones. in our
Yeah,
head.
I think so.
We had a great time
Good.
in our little bubble. But
Yeah. It's true.
yeah, like Michelle is just like vibing.
She's
She doesn't
vibing.
give a fuck.
I know Romy's like a little more concerned
Yeah.
with she's a little more pressed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I said Christy is a fucking nasty whore, is what I wrote.
Yeah.
here.
They're also so much prettier than her.
I know.
It's like so stupid.
That actress is actually so good at being a little bitch.
Yeah, she is. When she's
great.
like, I'm Christy Masters Christensen. Genius. That's so good.
So they show them. Oh yeah, the cute thing that happens is when that happens to Michelle. She's like, just pretend we said something funny, and they start laughing, and like they always like have each other's back.
Yeah.
They always have each other. That's like what it's them against the world.
They
truly.
love each other.
And they show us that.
Yeah, they really do.
And then they go to the prom, and they literally both dress like different versions of Madonna, and they look so cute.
Yeah. If you looked back at those pictures of like the Gen Xers and you saw them dressing like Madonna versus like those hilarious 80s prom dresses that everyone was wearing that we all laugh at now.
Yeah.
Like the Madonna ones are so much cooler.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely know what you're saying.
Mona May knew.
I agree. So Romy's gonna ask Billy to dance with her because it's the prom and maybe he'll say yes.
No one ever says no at prom.
Which Michelle says to only then immediately say no to Sandy Frank.
Yeah.
He's like, Michelle, it's the last dance. Like, would you maybe just dance with me? She's like, no.
Yeah, she literally goes, no.
And then walks off, not bothered.
No.
Couldn't be less bothered.
That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't give a fuck.
No, she doesn't give a fuck.
I know.
I
she's
love
an
it.
icon. So Billy's like, yeah, I'll dance with you. And then he like walks off and stands her up, and Christy and him like drive off in a motorcycle.
Right.
And Romy's
no
really
helmets.
sad.
Is Billy like slow?
Maybe.
Is he like a little slow?
Like something's wrong with him.
Something is, yeah. Because when she asked him, he's like,
he like doesn't know what, because he's an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like
That's
a
what I'm
dumb
saying.
idiot.
He's like a dumb idiot.
Yeah. He's a dumb idiot.
Yeah.
So Romy gets like stood up, and she's at the prom and she's like crying, and then Michelle's like, I'll dance with you, Romy, and they dance together, and it's so cute.
Time after time. I like choke up at this scene.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
They love each other.
They do. They do.
So then we go to the laundromat scene, which is shot so fucking beautifully.
Yeah. It's such a great looking scene.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's like
the
all
outfits.
orange. Like she has like the 3 of Hearts t-shirt.
Yep.
Lisa Kudrow has like different color earrings in. Like they just like look so fly.
And there's something that they do, like some of the accessories like one will wear in another scene.
Yes.
And like they're using like different like dice rings and earrings that like they take turns wearing.
It's so realistic.
Yes.
She really like Mona May really she works with them in fittings, right?
Yeah.
And they basically like didn't have anything about the costumes in the script.
Okay.
And so they basically just like built these characters in fittings together. And it
tells you everything about them.
And they both had like a huge say in like what they were wearing.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, because like they're such good actors too that their characters, like, especially Lisa Kudrow is like such a good comedic actress that like Mona May said that she specifically like worked with her on the character because the final dresses were originally more like a chiffon flowy look for Michelle.
Oh.
And Lisa Kudrow was like, I actually don't think this is like similar enough to Romy's dress. Like she wanted it to be more similar in like the cut and everything.
Because they would be more similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mona May was like, she was exactly right. This is why I love working with like talented people. Like you have to listen to everybody basically.
And isn't there also something about this dress?
Yeah. So like
symbol on it.
Mona May basically made up in her head with Mira Sorvino. They
That's
like
so funny.
had this thing where they made up that Romy would be like a Trekkie. So it's like a nod to Star Trek because
like she might secretly be into Star Trek.
Yeah. Like it's not that no one says that anywhere, but they just like have it in their head.
Right. So it's like a space
it's like futuristic sci-fi type of thing.
It's very early millennium.
Oh yeah.
It's early Y2K.
It's like early for its time.
Like
both
even
of the dresses
these
are
giving a little Y2K. Like we finally caught up to the like silvery metallic thing in like 2000.
And like the frosty lip.
Yeah.
Like they were doing shit early.
Yeah. Well, the Tastemakers bites.
Absolutely.
Yes, so they're like, we're gonna go back to this reunion and blow them away. And like they're like, we have to get boyfriends and jobs and whatever in 2 weeks.
Like there's no point in going unless we're gonna impress people.
Right, we gotta impress people and we gotta basically make it look like we've made it.
And Michelle just wants to go.
Yeah.
But she like doesn't care about this.
She doesn't care about it.
She just like wants to go.
She just goes along with what Romy wants to do because she just like loves her. She's like, okay.
How about the fact that they're 28?
I know.
That's so funny to me.
I love it. It's so young,
It's so young.
I know.
They like act like they should be like settled down and
I
like
know,
rich.
I know. I'm like, you guys are children still.
I know. They don't
Enjoy
even
it.
drink.
No, you guys look like young.
Yeah.
Just, it's good.
How funny is they've never tried to get boyfriends before.
Right. They never tried. Exactly. They're gonna go back and blow them away, and Romy says that their lives aren't impressive. Michelle's like doesn't give a shit. So they determine it's just two things they need: better jobs and boyfriends.
Or jobs in general.
Yes.
Because Michelle doesn't have a job.
No. So now we see which is my favorite sequence of like outfits.
Yeah.
Is Michelle's like job hunting sequence.
Uh-huh.
And she wears this like, she first goes to Gianni Versace.
The Versace store.
Mm-hmm. And she is interviewing, and she has on this like cherry red outfit, this like skirt suit, this like mini skirt that is like so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so just like phenomenal.
So like Mona May would like buy designer clothes. She'd buy like Moschino, Versace, all that shit. She would mix it with vintage, and then she would like change the buttons or like add something, like add a little like pattern somewhere.
Yeah.
So she would like customize it the way like she would imagine Michelle would. Yeah. Like she like basically embodied Michelle in the clothing.
Wow.
That's why everything is like so custom looking, because it is. Like
it is, yeah.
Even buying these costumes,
you can't
like
find it.
We would have to like make the shoes because they don't sell them.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah, it's so hard to find the stuff. Yeah.
It's just like so the eye on detail from this woman, she's a genius.
Agreed. Completely.
And like so they also go to the gym.
Oh my
and their
God,
gym
their
outfits.
Gym outfits.
She has it with a little sailor.
Oh my God.
Chest.
The gym outfits are, I wish I had these gym outfits.
I have another tidbit.
Okay, tell me.
So, this was like before athleisure was even a thing.
Yeah.
So like if you notice the other women in the gym, they're wearing like sports bras and like gym shorts.
Yes.
Because they weren't like leggings, like yoga, like all that stuff like didn't exist.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen until kind of recently.
Well, like she kind of laid the groundwork for like athleisure in general. Like it's like the first time we ever kind of see sportswear, fashion sportswear. Even their platform sneakers like are. Mm-hmm. And then so one thing that Mona May is like known for, she like made, well, she didn't make the original, but in Chanel's fall of 1994 show.
Oh, that's a famous show.
Yes. Karl Lagerfeld made chain water bottle holders.
Yes. And
Mona May, she used it in Clueless.
Yep.
For Dee and Cher in the gyms in the tennis scene. And she brought it back for Romy Michele, and you only see it for a second.
Yeah.
But like it's these little touches about these characters that they have a little purse for their water bottle.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
It's genius.
They think of everything.
It's genius.
Sorry guys, my eyelash and my contact lens is just like,
it's painful.
Oh, the boys want to know where my ding-a-ling go. Woo! Oh, sorry.
Anyway,
thank you for that. That was very informational.
Yeah, but we're not looking for any more stuff.
No, we're not looking for any more stuff, so she doesn't get the job.
She's like,
what did you say? Staff?
I couldn't get it with your accent.
With your big accent.
Yeah. I couldn't figure it out.
So while she's doing that, Romy goes out.
Couldn't figure it out.
Well, Romy, while she's doing that, Romy is out hunting for boyfriends.
At the club.
And this is one of my other favorite scenes.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the world, like of all time.
She goes up to this guy and she's like, "Nice suit, is it Armani?"
The fact that she knows it's an Armani suit, she was like...
And he's like, "Yes." And then she's like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a suit salesman." And she goes, "Would you excuse me? I cut my foot before and my shoe is filling up with blood."
And then she limps away. It's so funny.
The last piece of our collection is
it is so funny, Jocelyn.
Would you help me hold this up? Thanks, Michelle. And it's Romy, and it is her at that point in the club. Would you excuse me? I cut my foot before, and my shoe is filling up with blood.
Funny.
And it's just like one of my favorite lines in any movie. It's a great way to get out of anything.
Yeah.
If you tell somebody that your shoe is filling up with blood, I mean,
it's the number one excuse that I can think of.
That's a really soft shirt too. I have to say,
it's a Comfort Colors.
It's our favorite line of jerseys. So they're great.
It's our favorite shirt.
So yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted by how much I like that shirt. It has a nice.
Mm-hmm. And so we cut back to Michelle, and she's at Barney's, and the shot of inside Barney's with the stairs. R.I.P.
I know. Gorgeous.
I know. It's on record. I'm just happy there's footage of it.
Do they still have the Barneys in LA?
I don't think
Are they all shut down?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just like done.
That's awful.
So yeah, they're
or
like
whatever.
We're not looking for any more staff, but you can go to our bargain location. Basically.
Yeah, and I was like, this is the Barney's bargain
literally
location?
like, okay.
Right? So she goes to while she's going to the bargain place to see if she likes that place, Romy is doing other things to try and find a boyfriend. She goes to AA to find a boyfriend.
They dedicate one line to that, and that's it.
She's like, my name is Romy and I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's it.
And then she tries to go on Singled Out, and then she's like, I wouldn't be cutting the line if this wasn't an absolute dating emergency. She's like, 25 is our cutoff. You should try VH1. And I was like,
which is the lowest blow at the time.
Yeah.
You couldn't say anything more hurtful.
MTV was young and VH1 was older.
VH1 Classics.
And that was true.
Yeah.
That really tells you exactly what was happening.
Pop-up video.
I liked both.
I liked both too.
Yeah.
Both had something to offer.
Yeah, they did. So
VH1 was educational.
Yes, and MTV was also educational in ways that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Undressed.
There's so many things.
Undressed.
Remember like the Spring Break and even Singled Out. You're just like, what?
I love Singled Out.
What's happening? And then there's the treadmill scene where they're walking with like high-heeled shoes on.
And the boxing. The kickboxing.
The kickboxing.
With their matching Everlast boxing gloves.
Where did they get
like,
those?
Oh my God.
Where did they get those?
That's how they get themselves to do anything. They like get cool shit.
I mean, that's how I get myself
Me
to do
too.
anything too. Honestly.
Same.
I have to be dopamine bribed.
Oh, I love it.
I get it.
I totally get it.
So when they go to my favorite line, when they go to the gym is when Romy weighs herself and she's like, I gained a pound. And then Michelle's like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Did you just deduct 16 pounds for shoes?
Yeah.
And like, we say that all the time.
I know.
We say that constantly.
We say everything from this movie all the time.
Right?
So she gained a pound.
Yeah.
And she like wants to give up.
Yeah.
I love it when she's like, I said that we could get boyfriends and lose weight.
It's impossible, Michele.
And Michele goes, I thought you said we could.
So honest and earnestly.
Yeah.
But I thought you said we could.
Yeah. It's like she just does whatever she says.
She does. It's so cute.
But she's like so talented.
Right. Well, you got that, Michele?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this panning shot when we're home,
it
pans all the 90s snacks.
Yeah.
Jocelyn.
There's like a whole ham.
They have a whole
honey. If you look at the cat's like eating the ham too.
Yep.
What do you think that cat's name is?
Molly.
No! Do you think?
Do you think it's a boy? It's a girl cat,
What would they name her? It's definitely a girl cat, right?
Yeah. Madonna.
Cool. We're going with Madonna.
So, two snacks that I clocked were the Nestle Crunch and the honeycomb.
The Doritos in the
Obviously
old,
the Doritos.
old packaging.
Yeah, the old Doritos packaging.
That I love the old Doritos packaging.
But the honeycomb, Jocelyn.
Mm-hmm.
I loved honeycomb.
There's so many good snacks.
If you can make us the clothes, I can get us the car.
Yes. So she realizes all she has to do is pretend to be successful. So she's like, I'm gonna get a car, and Michele will make us like business lady outfits.
Because they saw it in Vogue.
They're gonna just be businesswomen.
Right. They're gonna be
just your generic everyday businesswoman.
Important looking business ladies.
Okay.
So they're gonna have this car, which is such a hilarious. Like, what if they see us drive up?
Yeah, they're like they see us drive up in that car. There's no way they're gonna believe it. So she goes and asks Ramon at work, who recently, through the grapevine, she hears it has like a Jaguar that he's fixing up, the XJS, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you going to do for me if I give it to you? So she pretends to have sex with him. So the other guys in the garage like are impressed that it close all the shades.
It sounds so realistic.
And he's like feeding her what to say. And she's like so deadpan. She's like, oh, Ramon. Oh,
you say that all the time too. Oh, Ramon. I can't even roll my R's.
Explosions. And then she's like, okay, get off me now.
Yeah.
And
so wanted it to sound real.
Yeah, that's all she does. So he gives her the car. And then she pulls up to get Michele in the car. And it has like a really amazing beep.
Here's the weird thing about this scene.
This is something now I want to know if other people have noticed this. And I looked online and I can't seem to find the answer.
There's no explanation. Romy drives up in this Jaguar. In the back seat, there is a coffee maker.
A Krups coffee maker,
in a box,
to be specific.
Like a big one. Like a big, taking up the whole back seat.
And it's in the back, and you see it. And Romy, like, pulls out her mobile phone.
Like, when she goes, look what I got, I thought she was going to be like, a coffee maker.
but it's a
It's a flip
mobile
phone.
phone. And then all of a sudden, the next scene, no mention of the coffee maker, and the coffee maker is gone.
It's gone. It's
What
just not
happened
there anymore.
there?
It's gone.
I would like
was
to know
magic.
if somebody knows what happened. What's
Ask
the deal
Mona
with the
May. Mona May.
coffee maker?
Also, I wanted to say too that it's so funny how like the thing with Ramon, right?
Yeah.
He just wants it to sound like they had sex.
Yeah.
Like no, it doesn't matter like what anyone actually does. It's all like how they appear. And
I know.
That's what this movie is also pointing out. It's
Like,
like
and the absurdity of that.
yeah, it's like it doesn't matter if they had sex. All that matters is that everyone thinks they had sex. It doesn't matter that we're successful. Everyone just needs to think we're successful.
Excuse me, Molly.
My God. It's a set, Rue.
It's a set, darling.
There's nothing over there.
I'm gonna be sick. Molly,
Very
my
good.
God. Oh, it's
Oh
a
my-
set. Oh my God. Speaking of.
Hold on.
Oh wow, that's so
Got my
funny.
tissues.
You're a tissue queen.
Oh my God, my nose is never not running.
Better go out and catch it.
Why? Because you couldn't catch them?
What? You know?
All right, where were we?
All right, so they go
No,
and they
they're going-
stop at a diner on the way.
Well, yeah, Michelle made a cassette, or Romy, one of them, made a
Michelle.
cassette of their high school songs, which
they're
is so
Cutting
fun.
footloose.
Just so you know, this is a 9.5-hour drive that they're
Oh,
doing.
you looked it up.
Yeah, I looked. Of course.
Wow, I didn't know you had a PhD.
I mean, they don't call me Dr. Nana for nothing.
Dr. Nana. So yeah, they go and they stop at this rest stop. It's like a diner.
A truck stop.
And they get into these outfits and these like elaborate French twists. And
In
I'm
the
like,
bathroom.
how did they do that in the bathroom?
Like Evelyn Salt.
They're like literally they're like really elaborate updates.
And they like come out with like one of those like Trader Joe style bags.
And they're like, this is another classic where Romy goes up to the woman behind the counter and is like, hi, do you have some sort of businesswoman special?
And Michelle's just like,
And they're literally like, the woman's like, we don't have anything like that here.
well, we're businesswomen.
And we have something in Tucson later, you know, business stuff. And then the woman's like, what business are you in? So they realize
they're both just
they
like-
never thought. They never thought of it.
They have to think of something now.
So now is the infamous like post-it scene
Yeah.
where they discuss
They
that
decide.
they decide that they invented post-its. That's going to be their cover story.
Great. I love it.
And basically Romy invented the whole thing and Michelle's idea was to make it yellow and her family has a paper mill.
It was so much easier to grift before the internet.
Yes. Did I
but-
mix it up? Michelle has the
No,
paper
Michelle
mill.
has the paper mill.
Right. And Romy invented the whole thing.
And she's mad because she's like, well, how come I don't get to invent anything?
And she's like, because it has to be believable, Michelle.
Right.
Which basically is like, oh, I'm the dumb one.
yeah. And she's like, well, it's believable that you're the designer.
Right.
And then they get in a fight.
And then they fight about who's the Marion,
pull
who's
over.
the Rhoda, who's the pretty one. And and one of the reasons Michelle thinks she's the pretty one is because she lost her virginity first to her cousin
To
Barry.
Barry. Doesn't
So,
count.
Big whoop. I wouldn't brag about that. And they basically decided once they get to Tucson, they're going to go their own separate ways because they're fighting.
Yeah.
They're
They're
not
not friends
friends.
anymore.
They're
It's
not.
done.
So now it's Michelle's dream sequence.
Yeah. Which, like, if you haven't seen this before,
You don't
You-
know.
no,
it's a
you don't
dream-
know it's
you
a
don't
dream
know it's a
sequence.
dream
No.
sequence because basically it's as if they arrive at
yeah.
the reunion.
And then they walk in like with like Romy 10 feet in front of Michelle, and it's like, ho, 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 ho. It's like porn
very
music.
dramatic.
It's so weird.
Yes, it's like 90s thriller music.
Yeah.
And like you just basically see them going their own separate ways. And Romy hooks up with Billy Christensen.
Who's
and
like,
then-
he's like an
Yes.
idiot. It's like what you
Yes.
think he would be.
Yeah, he's like a dumb idiot.
Yeah.
And then Michelle talks to the A group.
And like their outfits here, don't they remind you of those Easter bunnies?
They look like peeps.
That's exactly what
Their
they
outfits
look
are
like.
kind of amazing.
No, they're amazing.
With the matching
drinks.
drinks.
Iconic.
I love it.
So Christy's
And-
a weather girl.
Yeah, I'm a weather girl.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I actually think that their dream sequence personas were way cooler than how they ended up being for real.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Oh, totally. I mean, yeah.
But, like, that's so funny.
Like, it was like her, you know, what she imagined them, what they said they wanted to be.
Yeah.
And they, you know, Michelle's like, I invented Post-its, and they like grill her on it, and she knows the recipe for glue.
She info dumps the recipe for glue.
And it's so cool.
And it's amazing. It's such a mic drop moment.
And then, you know, she also meets Sandy Frank, who had a face transplant.
Yeah. And like
And
the
he's
blue
rich.
contact that he's wearing too.
Yes, he had total face transplant, and they like start making out. And then in this dream sequence, like she and Romy both co-win.
Yeah.
And the whole time she's like, I didn't know we were voting.
Yeah. And he's like, go and get your medal.
They co-win most changed for the better since high school. As if it's like, and they both get a medal.
Announced by Billy Christensen.
And then they never see each other again until...
I love how surreal the dream gets. Like, as the deeper you get into it, it's like,
Yes.
oh, her top is off now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, she didn't have her top for the the award, and she's like, I couldn't find my top. So you start to know that something is wrong.
And there's like pictures of Christy all over the... Like,
and their cars are like inside.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's very weird.
So then it cuts to 70 years in the future when they're presumably 98 years old.
Where like Michelle literally has the hair that's on your head right now, but gray.
Yeah,
the exact same hair.
Her body looks the same.
Yep.
Just a little bit of old age makeup.
Right.
She looks amazing.
And she's married to Sandy Frank.
Yep.
And then she wants to call Romy because she still misses her.
She said, like, I've been so lonely. I've had no one to talk to.
All these years.
And
Sandy's like, cool.
Like, he basically like hated being married to Sandy Frank.
Right. She just missed Romy the whole time. So she goes to call, and somebody who looks like Billy answers, and we find out it's Billy Jr.
Billy Jr.
And he tells her that Romy's on her deathbed. And it's like, you tell her. It's Michelle Weinberger Frank. And in the background, she's like, not unless she admits I'm the Mary.
Yeah.
And, like, they end the dream where, like, she dies.
Yeah, they're, like, fighting.
And they die fighting.
And then she's, like, pushing a button, and the car is honking. And that's how she wakes up. And she's, like, in the front seat of the convertible.
Yes.
And Romy left her in the car to go into the reunion
she didn't
first.
Wake me up? What a bitch. And I'm like, what a bitch. So now it's them really at the reunion.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that in the dream sequence, she gets hit by the limo.
I was literally looking at that note, too.
It's like the funniest scene of her flying over the limo.
She flies over, and she's like, it's so funny.
He's like, sorry, I hit you with my limo.
Yeah. So we go to the main reunion, and Romy is trying to pull this little grift on the A-team.
The A-team.
Who is all pregnant.
I invented Post-its.
We don't see Lisa yet because Lisa's actually like a cool person now. She talks
like
to Lisa first.
And she tells her she invented Post-its, and Lisa kind of knows what's up. So
she's also
like,
the associate fashion editor at Vogue.
And Romy's like, wow, good
job.
Or is that what she says? Good job.
Yeah, but she's very smug about it, I have to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so. She's like, well, she's still part of the A-team.
She's wearing a Ralph Lauren suit.
She looks sick. And she's played by Elaine Hendricks, who also plays our beloved, what's her name from Parent Trap.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. I can't remember anything.
No.
What's her fucking name?
I'm not. Jessie. Jessie is the name.
I know so many things, but not when you ask me.
Yeah.
How about that?
I couldn't find it there.
So it's not really useful, is it? My God. So, yeah, she's basically telling the A-team that she invented
Post-its, and they're like, okay.
They like don't really buy it.
And Christy's like, I don't even watch TV anymore because my priorities have changed since I've become a mommy.
She's so annoying.
She is.
And Romy's just like awkward, and all of a sudden she's like, well, if anyone needs to make a call, I've got a phone.
She reverts to the phone.
And you're just like, no, don't do the phone bit right now.
I love that.
So then
it's like a yo-yo kid. It's like, want to see my yo-yo?
I know. You're like, oh, Romy.
Yeah.
But then Heather Mooney comes in. Like a bat out of hell.
The song that they play when Heather Mooney comes in.
I know.
It's like an orchestra song of like by Ta.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
She's like literally bat out of hell. She has an iconic sheer black outfit on.
Always smoking.
With a Lady Fine cigarette. She walks in. She tells Toby, played by Cameron Manheim, to fuck off just like she did in high school.
Right.
And she's like, Heather Mooney, you haven't changed a bit. And so Heather Mooney like walks over to Romy. She's like, Heather, I didn't know you were coming. And then she basically blows up her spot and tells her, you didn't
because they're like,
Post-its.
she says that she has she invented the quick paper.
Yeah.
And then the A-team's
Sandy
like,
Frank invented a rubber.
Yes.
So a lot of inventors.
And then she's like, what do you mean?
Romy said she invented Post-its.
She's like, no, you didn't.
Art 5 from the 3M Corp. We learned about it in business school.
Had it right there.
Thanks a lot, Heather.
She remembers stuff.
So Michelle sees this going on, and Michelle comes to save her.
Yeah.
Thank God.
The look on her face when they're all laughing at Romy.
I know.
And Michelle snaps.
Michelle at this point is like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
So she like comes and gets her, and she's like, fuck up, shut the fuck up, you fat. And they're like, we're pregnant, you halfway. She's like, I hope your babies look like monkeys. She like really gives it to them. Like, yeah. And they walk away.
I love it. And then they, they're like, only 4 people think we did this.
Right.
Lie.
So we'll just stay. Only 4 people know. But then Christy comes on. By the way, she's married to Billy. Billy's the baby daddy. No, he's not.
He's in real estate.
He's in real estate. She's like, hi, I'm Christy Masters Christensen. She's like literally the worst.
She's so insufferable.
And she basically tells everybody that Romy and Michelle made up this lie. She's like, and they claimed this, and she's like,
yeah, this bitch like literally got pregnant right after high school, got married, and like has had no personal growth in the last 10 years.
Yeah, so she's a bitch.
Such a bitch.
And they go to like Romy runs off and like throws her purse really hard.
She like Kim Kardashian that purse.
Yeah, it was like she really threw it
at Courtney.
Exactly. Don't be so rude. And Michelle basically is like, would you fucking snap out of it? Like, what are you doing?
How funny is like, can you stop acting like a baby?
Yeah. Can you stop being such a baby? Yeah. And she's like, basically like, snap the fuck out of it. We're going to go put on our actual drag, our actual clothes, which are these very outfits that you see before you.
Let's go be ourselves.
And they go get ready in the car.
To the song, I'm Your Venus, I'm Your Fire. And they get their pink suitcase out of their trunk.
Yep.
With the good stuff.
Yep.
And they walk
back into this Venus. They look sick.
Yeah.
And they go right up to Christy, and she's like, Christy, why do you have to be such a bitch? Or whatever.
You're a bad person with an ugly heart.
With an ugly heart. Yeah. She tells her off.
It's
delicious.
The redemption.
And then they're basically like, they're as delusional as their stupid outfits. And then Ms. Vogue herself comes out.
Lisa.
And she's like, actually, Christy, they have clean lines, a fun use of color, and all in all, I'd say they're not bad.
Oh, and they're all just
someone in the background goes, and she would know.
Yeah. She would.
And she would know. I love that kind of stuff.
I know, me too.
So, like, everyone now runs up to them and is like, I do love your outfit. Yeah. And so they've, like, been redeemed.
Well, she has one more mic drop moment, too.
Yes.
Where she's like, well, I'm not, like, something about a washed-up, man-eating career woman.
Ball-busting career woman.
And she was like, I'm happily married. And Lisa's like, that's right, Christy. Keep telling yourself that.
It's delicious.
And she walks away, and that's when everyone starts to, like, break up this orbit that's been around them for, like, all of high school.
Yes. And then Heather Mooney gets a really good piece of news and finds out that she did indeed make someone's life terrible.
And she upset
Toby by telling her to fuck off.
And she does my favorite line read in like any movie.
She's
and
like,
she goes,
I upset you.
Tremendous. That's tremendous. That's so fucking funny.
So Toby goes to get her yearbook and then runs right back in because Sandy Frank has just arrived in a helicopter.
Oh, and they do that fucking...
And now I have to tell you, arriving to an event in a helicopter is now emblazoned in my mind
we have to do it
as something that needs to be done.
We have to do it. Is it our daughter's wedding?
Yeah.
In Greece?
Yes. Mamma Mia too. Here we go again.
And Sandy gets out of the helicopter in his Cole Haan times Nike collab.
Wow.
Shoes that he invented.
Incredible.
And
that's very accurate.
Christy's like, hi, Sandy, you look so rich.
I mean, great.
Yeah. And he's like, okay.
He's like, shut up. And he goes right up to Michelle.
Yeah.
He's like, Michelle, you still take my breath away after all these years. And she's like, thank you.
I know. She goes, thanks.
And then he asks her to dance. And she's like, only if Romy can dance with us. And they do a choreographed dance routine to Time After Time.
That chokes me up every time.
Like they dance to at the prom together.
And at the end of the dance, they're like, thank God we always go to the club. Like we go to the club every night.
They practice their choreography.
Yeah, they do.
It comes in handy. And so then he like gets the helicopter jetted up so he can like bring them back.
Yeah.
But this is a loose tie for me is who brings Ramon's car back?
Yeah, that Jaguar is going to be in Tucson
I
for the
feel
rest
like
of time.
maybe we didn't see it, but maybe Sandy's assistant arranged for it to be
I
transported.
mean, he has 24 staff, so
I'm just gonna
one of
imagine
those guys.
that happened.
Yeah.
And like they don't really make us suffer through much more.
They don't.
Except that we did forget that we do see Billy while they're waiting for the helicopter
with his pot belly,
and he's puking because he's wasted. And basically does a switcheroo like they did at the prom, where he's like, "Didn't you want to sleep with me? Like, let's hook up." And Romy's like, "Yeah, go to the hotel, wash your pukey face, and then we're get naked and wait for me." And she stands him up.
And he also reveals to them what the true nature of their lives is.
Right,
that they're all miserable. He's an alcoholic. He
doesn't
works
know
for
if
her daddy.
This pregnancy is his kid.
Like it's all a facade.
Yeah, and he's a drunk.
Yeah,
and it's a bunch of lies.
Exactly.
So she's a liar fucking too.
Yeah. So just go be yourself and be happy.
Exactly. So
and as the helicopter flies away, you see Christy's bloomers
go up
with her underwear. It's like, so perfect.
It's really perfect.
Yeah.
And they don't make us suffer any other nonsense because they just show us what happened next, which is that Sandy fronted them up, invested in the Romy and Michele boutique on Rodeo Drive.
It's so fantastic.
And they're selling their designs.
And it's packed. There's so many people shopping in the store. I would be one of them.
It's so busy.
What I would do to shop in the store.
Maybe they're going to be able to return his investment back.
Right.
And she's like, I think we're like 2 years away
Yeah.
from that, Michelle. And she's like, oh.
So Heather Moody comes out of the dressing room in this like lemon dress, smoking, of course.
Yes.
And they're like, don't you know smoking can kill you?
And she's like, no, I never heard that. Thank you.
No one's ever told me that before. She's so funny.
I know. And then Michelle's like, can you come here? And she like plucks a hair from the middle of her eyebrow.
Yeah.
And I guess that's been bothering her since like 1987.
She's like, stay away from my bikini line.
And she goes, okay.
Okay, I will.
Like, yeah, I think so. She's so literal. It's so funny. She's like, yeah, okay.
I will. Oh, I love Lisa Kudrow.
And then they basically are like having the best fucking time.
Yeah, they look so happy.
And she's like, Michelle, I think you're like the funnest person I know.
Oh my God, me too. With you.
And then she goes, let's fold scarves.
Oh, it's the end of the movie.
And then they fold scarves.
They're soulmates.
They are soulmates.
I love it.
That's just like one of my favorite movies of all time. It makes me feel so happy.
Wait, can I read this thing about some clothing stuff?
I love that.
Okay, so in the scene where Michelle goes to her job interview at the discount store, she's wearing this like cropped red Moschino jacket with white buttons. Mm-hmm. So the same jacket shows up in Scream on Courtney Cox's Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox's character. So that's like a little friend connection.
Oh, from Friends. So they shared is it the same exact jacket or just
the same jacket? Because Mona May says she would run into costume designer Cynthia Bergstrom all the time at like Barney's and Bergdorf's. She did Scream. And they were like, yeah, she did Scream. And they were like buying all the same clothes and like.
Oh my God, that's so. Yeah, Gail Weathers actually has like a sick wardrobe. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
I love this movie so much.
I'm obsessed with the collection. Like, I really do think that it embodies the movie as like truly. It's very 1997.
I mean, it came from like our heart and soul because like this movie, I feel like I said before, represents us so much. Like I feel so seen by this movie. We're literally
like if Romy and Michelle got married and fell in love.
Yeah. I mean, I do think they're in love.
Yeah.
With each other.
Right.
I just think they need to like accept that.
Right.
So maybe when they turn 30, like you said.
Yeah.
Try again.
Because
she's like, just the idea of having sex with you makes me sick or whatever. Yeah. And then she's just like,
ask me
she's
again.
like, does it?
Ask me in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's literally what she says.
Yeah, I know.
Ask me in exactly 2 years.
I know.
And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
God, I love them so much.
Me too.
It's just the best.
How about that when she goes to Barney's for the interview and she's wearing that orange like tangerine outfit with like the gingham?
Oh. It's literally the outfits are insanely cute. The colors, the outfits. And you know the outfits that are on like the cover, we don't even see them.
No, we don't.
They're just like
they're like versions
of
these, but they're just for the cover.
Orange and purple.
I love it.
Me too.
Even just like the exterior shots of the buildings in Venice Beach. Yeah. It's like it's
just a visual
stimulating.
Delight. I love it so much.
It's just genius.
And I'm so excited for you guys to get these collections and try them. Like this was like
I love it.
This is a nice passion project. We've been very excited about it.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in to Romy and Michele Day.
Let's fold
Let's
scarves.
fold scarves and have a Romy and Michele day.
Have a Romy and Michele day,
Love you,
everyone.
Candle
Love you, Candle
Coven.
Coven.
Bye.
Bye.